Still waiting on that heifer, Julio.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool, and fuck you, I'm out.
Gentlemen, assume your positions.
Thurgood, Brian, Kenny, and Scarface.
You guys feel like you're floating? This weed is fantastic. Yo, who's on munchies tonight, yo? Make sure chocolate. Gotta have chocolate. Graham crackers. Pizzas, man. Celery, grape jelly, peanut butter, popcorn, beef jerky.
You must have been so hungry.
But now, they're in trouble.
I just gave him some candy and some chips and some pink popcorn and...
All we gotta do is raise 10% of 1 million, yo. Which by our calculations is fucking impossible, man. I know how we could get Kenny out. Weed, man. We'll sell weed.
Comes a story that proves
I'm somebody's bitch.
Oh!
3 heads are better than 1.
Who's out, man? I just stopped smoking yesterday.
I remember when a dime bag cost a dime.
Half-baked.
Professional fanatics here.
Yeah.
Busting out the tie-dyes.
Yeah, tie-dye for Half-Baked. One of my favorite, definitely one of my favorite stoner movies of all time. One of my favorite comedies of all time. I'm a big Dave Chappelle guy, right? My favorite stand-up comedian of all time. And a lot of all times here. I love the movie. When I saw it originally, I was young. First trying to smoke weed here and there. Spoiler alert. Although neither of us smoke weed anymore. So it's kind of funny we're doing this. But we know the lifestyle. We know the game, right? Yeah. And
from half-baked to zero-baked, but we're still here to bring you...
Well, if we were baked, it'd be way worse. We'd just be fucking, man. All right, so this is Dave Chappelle's first leading role. He was in a couple things, but nothing major. He was in Robin Hood Men in Tights, couple other little small roles, but yeah, Con Air.
What's the cop movie with Martin Lawrence where he's the robber and he's like, hey, man, you gotta... What?
Yeah, that's after Blue Streak.
Oh, was
that's after? Yeah, that's actually after this.
Wow.
A funny thing about Dave Chappelle, I found out he passed on being Bubba from Forrest Gump. Yeah, he passed because he thought the movie was going to bomb, which is a crazy decision. But I don't know what his career would have been. He would have been kind of typecast as Bubba, pretty important character because Bubba was a nobody, right? So I prefer it being Bubba because Dave Chappelle he would have made it too funny.
Yeah, nah.
Shrimp, like, yeah, fucking shrimp scampi. Like, I'm trying to do a Chappelle, but
I can't picture Dave doing it.
No.
Knowing what we know now.
Movie came out in '98. Legendary movie, great characters. For me, Jim Breuer I love as much as I love Chappelle. Jim Breuer makes this movie. Also love Scarface, but it brought me to Stoner Hall of Fame, Stoner Mount Rushmore, which is 4. I need your 4 best stoner characters. And I'll give you mine.
So I've got a couple of honorable mentions, but I did mine as more of Mount Rushmore needing to have kind of like 8 heads. Because anytime I think of a famous stoner, there's a duo involved.
Right.
So mine are Harold and Kumar.
Okay.
I mean, classic guys.
Yeah.
Love all the movies minus the Christmas one.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Same with, well, I'll get into that. Dale Denton and Saul.
Saul, for sure.
I mean, classic. Pineapple Express, epic. I've got Jamal and Silas P. Silas, the weed scientist. How high? Classic guys.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Harvard. I'm not going to name a couple that I think you're going to have on your list, but I also have Craig and Smokey, and I've got Alex and Dante from Grandma's Boy.
All right. Well, this is Mount Rushmore's 4 heads, just so you know. But I'm
putting a bunch of heads on it.
I will say I had an honorable mention. This is from TV, because this is TV and movies.
We'll do your first, and then we'll both do our honorable mentions.
Okay. So I just have 4 names, because I actually did the exercise properly.
You never do the exercise properly.
I just did. So I have Breuer, Brian from this movie, Half-Baked. Had to throw an honorable mention out. He's on the list, but I had to throw him out there. Slater from Dazed and Confused.
Yep.
Talking about fucking, what is it, Mrs. Washington.
Behind every good man, there's a woman. And that woman was Martha Washington, man. And every day George would come home, she'd have a big fat bowl waiting for him, man, when he'd come in the door, man. She was a hip lady, man.
Him and David Woodardson are on my honorable mentions.
I have James Franco, Soul from Pineapple Express. And the last one I have, which isn't smoking a lot, but it's the dude from Big Lebowski.
He's on my
Just
honorable.
because his lifestyle is like the epitome of the the stoner, which is this is the individual one. No one else, like Walter didn't smoke weed, Donnie didn't smoke weed. It's just him driving around smoking fucking little roaches and going to the store writing a check to buy the half and half, 67 cents.
Yep.
Amazing. Wearing his fucking bathrobe. Fucking love the dude.
Where's your dude sweater?
I didn't wear it because this isn't the Big Lebowski pod.
Okay.
What's your honorable mention?
Honorable mentions, which it's tough to call these honorable mentions because they're massive stoners. And they were great movies. But I've got Jeff Spicoli. I've got Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on the rap, but if you know it, I'd like you to do it right now.
Fuck, motherfuck, motherfuck, noise.
Okay.
Smoking weed, smoking with, drinking beers.
What's the one where he's like, put that shit
in my hand? Yeah, it's $15, man. Whatever. It wasn't a karaoke with Rob, so.
All right.
I mean,
Towley.
Okay, that was my honorable mention. Classic, epic, amazing character.
You can't have a towel.
Right?
These are humans.
Well, the towel getting fucking high as shit.
You want to get high? No.
Ollie is a tough choice because even though I can see how always having a towel around could come in handy, he's just always so high.
Yeah, I really hope I win because... Wait, what is this again? I have no idea what's going on.
So, all right, I did want to have one thing I have to say about Jim Brewer here. What it brought me to was... This is the perfect use of his skill set, right? Because I don't think he's a great actor. I don't necessarily think he's that funny of a comedian. He kind of has one note, which is just, I'm stoned. He looks stoned even when he's not stoned. It's in the eyes and how he talks. But it reminded me of when Mike D'Antoni went to Phoenix with Steve Nash. Look what happened. Revolutionized basketball. Jim Brewer in this movie, that's Mike D'Antoni on the Suns, baby. One last thing. This is a bit of research I did last night. It took me a while. How many times does Brian in the movie say, man? I looked this up. I counted it. I know.
You counted or looked it up?
I counted it. I'm saying I said it wrong. But
if I was Vegas and I was throwing out a line, 42.
80 times.
Holy shit.
I know. He doesn't have that many lines. Like, it's actually, I should have counted the times he says something without saying man, because that's probably about 20.
The movie's only an hour and a half.
Hour and 20 minutes. I know. It's a man a minute. That's a man a minute.
It's almost...
Yeah. It's 82 minutes, so it's a man a minute.
That's
crazy.
Great.
There's only a few lines he says without saying man. And there's a couple where he says, man, we're in big trouble, man. So it's like he's in the military for stoners, like, sir, yes, sir. Man. Awesome. All right,
was
so...
that a cat accent?
I don't know what it was. This movie did not do very well. It was not well received, similar to The Burbs, right?
Why do we do all movies that aren't received well?
Because they're classics, and fuck the fucking Roger Eberts of the world. So $8 million budget, $17 million box office. So I mean, it didn't lose money, but that's not great. Roger Ebert, Raj, he's dead now, but we give our props to Raj. He was the guy. Did not do a review for this movie. What do you think he would have given it? I have half star written down.
Yeah, I mean, knowing what we know
0?
about his ratings, he definitely would have probably given this a 1 star.
I think half. Because he's all about plot, and this movie really doesn't have a plot.
I mean, there's some plot there.
Yeah, I guess, but right, but that's like...
There's a love... This is a rom-com.
It is. It's kind of a love story, too. All right, so we're going to get into these categories here. Starting off with rewatchable scene. Now, this movie's weird because there's some notable scenes. Best scenes, yeah. There's some notable scenes here, but it kind of just flows perfectly. I'll go through mine and let me know what you can add in here. The first one I love is introducing the characters in the first smoke sesh.
First high scene.
Right?
Epic.
And just, it's also talking about their jobs and all that shit. Although I do love the first scene where they're smoking as kids.
Oh, I thought that's what you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about where he's introducing the characters, and then they have the first smoke sesh, right?
Gotcha.
Just kind of shows like their ritual, right? I'll get Billy Bob Thornton.
Now everybody has their own little ritual when it comes to smoking.
Help us around, fellas.
And we were no different.
Break out Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
And like they're
Brian,
take your shoes off. No, Brian, you keep yours on, man.
Even though he wears sandals.
Right, which is hilarious. Must be that bad. Next one I have here is the date with Mary Jane. Fucking great. Like the money counter, you know, he starts out with $8 because they're all broke, and then steals the money from the homeless guy to get the ice cream.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Be happy with the tip I gave you. Damn.
You should be kissing my ass.
Guys are breathing.
Better change you some food?
Oh. Don't mind if I do.
Thank you, brother.
No. Thank you.
I don't have that on my list, but I will touch about that later on.
Yeah, it's amazing. My favorite, this might be my favorite here, is the most of the first one, where there's a few of them, the types of stoners montage.
We met all kinds of customers, like this guy here. He's what we call an enhancement smoker, because he thinks that marijuana makes every activity that much better.
Did you ever see Son of a Woman?
Yup.
Have you ever seen Son of a Woman on weed? That's the way to see it, man. It's just whack.
A scavenger smoker is someone who never has weed of their own.
I ain't even hit the motherfucker yet. Back up, nigga.
You know we sell this. I don't know if you knew that.
It's too bad, man. I just stopped smoking yesterday.
Dude, I got that
of
on
just,
there.
you know, the MacGyver smoker, the enhancement smoker, the kid that spends all of his fucking lunch or all of his allowance on reefer. His dad trying to connect with him next door smoking. Love that. Just super smart.
Creative smoker.
Right, yeah. So great.
The poem. The MacGyver smoker.
The MacGyver smoker is a very handy guy to have around.
Hey, man, we're out of papers.
All right, then get me a toilet paper roll, a corkscrew, and some tinfoil.
We don't have a corkscrew.
All right, then get me an avocado, an ice pick, and my snorkel. Trust me, bro, I've made bongs with less. Hurry up.
And actually, yeah,
Baldwin?
The one we left out is the best, is the scavenger.
Oh, yeah.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
Scavenger.
Crazy thing is, I just quit last week.
Fucking hits it 12 times. The next one I have here is quitting their jobs. We referenced it in the beginning. Just Brian quitting, you know, or getting fired. I'm not gonna do what everyone thinks I'm gonna do, man. Freak out.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not gonna do what everyone thinks I'm gonna do. Flip out, man.
Which came out first, Jerry Maguire or this movie?
Jerry Maguire was 96, I believe.
Okay, so they ripped that off Jerry.
Right.
Exact same.
Yeah,
scene.
but better. I mean, just because I hate Tom Cruise, but who's coming with me, man?
Who's coming, man? Who's coming with me? Huh? Who's coming with me, man?
Who's coming with me, man? Jan! Thank you, Jan!
Jan. Thank you, Jan. Yeah.
Jan, you're my girlfriend?
Jan, be my girlfriend?
I would, but I'm gay, you know. I'm a big dyke.
What's that like?
Or the when
I would, but I'm gay. I'm a total dyke. Oh, what's that like, man? All right, just love that. I actually do a pretty good Brian.
No, you do a good one. I'd almost like to hear you do the record reenactment where they're like, "I'll give you $6." She's like, he's like, "Oh, no."
Use Kenny Loggins' record." It's like, "I'll give you $5." Actually, like he signed it himself. All right, I'll give you $4. Jan, stop it, Jan.
Lady, you want $7 for a used Kenny Loggins record? I'll give you $5.
He autographed it himself.
I'll give you $4. Jan, stop it.
All right, last scene for me is it's a small scene, but it's when he says he needs to get help and he goes to rehab. That Bob Saget cameo, just him. I got a problem, blah blah. I'm addicted to marijuana. Marijuana?
Because I'm addicted to marijuana.
You in here for some marijuana? Marijuana? Man, this is some bullshit.
I drink a lot of coffee, so.
So offended.
I know, right? I see this guy suck dick for coke. So you ever suck dick for coke or for marijuana? He's like, can't say that I have.
Marijuana is not a drug. I used to suck dick for coke. I seen him. Now that's an addiction, man. You ever suck some dick for marijuana? Huh?
No, I can't say I have.
I didn't think so.
Boo this man!
That's all I have here for rewatchable scene or best scene. What do you have?
I've got all of that. I also have the first time trying the scientist weed where they start floating.
Yep.
Only because I feel like nostalgically that kind of hits home.
They give the guy it and he just starts floating. He just makes a little hit. So yeah.
Sorry to wake you, but you gotta try this.
I didn't do their first time smoking. I did do their first time as kids smoking.
First
I
scene.
thought that was hilarious. Kenny's like, I've never been so thirsty in my entire life.
He's in the fucking Slurpee machine.
Yeah. And then I also have when, actually I got two more. When Sir Smoke-A-Lot, he's sitting there talking to him and he starts crying and he's like, he had sex with my mama. And then he's like getting religious. He's like, Lord, help me. And then he's like, I gotta back you out of me.
Doctor said, you know, back you out of me. Like, Jesus. And then just the best thing is Nutty Professor asked, where it's just essentially Dave Chappelle talking to Dave Chappelle. I love doing that movie. It's Austin Powers did that. You know, it's just
actually I had
smart.
two more.
Go on, look at you.
The stealing the weed, and then when they get caught by the cops, and Thurgood starts mopping out there, and then Scarface is miming for a second, and then
Brewer just lands
falls,
down,
and he's like, my nuts! Thurgood! Yeah!
Put your hands above your head! Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right.
And then, wait, one more.
Oh, wow.
One more.
Wow. What do you got?
The titty popping out.
Love it.
With Samson and everyone's says like, ah!
Yeah. That's full frontal, man.
Fully, man. That is an official fully.
All right, what's aged the best in this movie? It's been out, what, 25 years?
Like a fine wine.
Mine, first one is just weed. It's legal now.
I have that.
I mean, it's
Hanging
you don't have
with
to.
the boys.
Yeah.
Marijuana.
Yeah.
Reefer. Cannabis.
Yep.
Chiba.
The sweet Chiba.
We should have had a game where we can see who quits out first with the most marijuana nicknames, but we've already spoiled that.
Yeah, we did. Also, I have Dave Chappelle, aged the best. I mean, this pretty much launched his career, especially with it. Huh?
You stealing my notes?
I mean, there's not many.
I totally agree.
Just because this was his first starring role, and although it didn't have critical acclaim, it became like a cult. Everyone loves this movie. Stoners, they discovered Dave Chappelle, and even though he's not even the funniest part of this movie, he's essentially the voice of reason in this movie, which is batshit crazy, right? Like when he's like, "You guys are smoking entirely too much weed." So yeah, you have smoked yourself retarded. Next one I have here is dropping the soap in prison. Now, you're wondering probably why I have that as age the best. I have it as age the best because I feel like this kind of started that's kind of like a trope people use, right? Don't drop the soap. I feel like it came from this movie. Correct me if I'm wrong, but...
I don't know. I've never done the historical research.
Well, I've done some research, but... I have naming bongs and pipes as age the best because I used to do that shit all the time. My buddy had a bong named Mongo. I had a hand-me-down Sherlock pipe, and we called it Shirley. And this thing just would never break. I probably dropped it like 20 times, like from high up on concrete. Thing was a fucking beast. So just naming it and like having your love for these pipes, right?
Yep.
Get Wesley pipes, man. No, that wouldn't be right.
So y'all want to smoke?
I'll get Billy Bong Thornton.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, Scarface. No Billy Bong Thornton without Kenny. That would not be right, man. Use Wesley pipes. Yeah.
I have just the movie being an hour and 22 minutes. One of the problems I have with some of these other movies, like the recent ones, like Knocked Up and I Love You, Man, some of these other ones, Funny People, they're too long. To where, like, the best part of the movie is like the first hour, and they get to the serious part where, they're going to have the kid, and it's all relationship kind of drama, where it's like, you don't need to have a comedy an hour and 55 minutes. That's just too much, because the jokes aren't going to land at the end. You've kind of spent all the equity in the characters by an hour. So this is just short and sweet, easy watch. Love it.
I had pretty much all the same, but I'm going to add in, and we already talked about it with best scenes, but the types of smokers out there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely aged the best. Those people still exist. 100% everybody knows somebody that's a scavenger, or it's like, have you ever seen a $20 bill? Have you ever seen it on weed?
On weed?
Yeah.
Quick question for you before you get to your next one. This is before like edibles were really a thing. How much edibles do you think Brian would eat now? Because he'd still be smoking with his boys, but like he'd be on like 200 milligrams, bro, like daily.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd eat regular food.
No, it'd all be weed based.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
All right, what do you got?
He'd be cooking his eggs in freaking weed butter.
Yep.
And I also added on there half-baked ice cream. That shit's the bomb.
Is that from this?
I'm
yeah,
not sure.
We'll say it is.
We'll say it is.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, what age the worst? You want to lead us off here, bud?
Lead us off here. Fundraisers, a.k.a. drug dealers.
Yeah.
You got the fentanyl scares, shit being laced.
It's a good one.
You don't have the variety or the quality, per se, that you can get if you were to go to a store.
Right. If money's not an issue, why would you ever?
100%. I also have Bob Saget.
I went downhill.
R.I.P. Bob Saget.
Now he's dead, so that's a good one. That's something I should have because he's dead. Usually I play that card.
True.
Wow.
I didn't bring it up because he was dead, but I did bring it up because he went from like Full House, Dad, Mr. Clean, to off the rails, Bob Saget.
Right. He definitely he had a coke problem actually early on too, before Full House, I believe, and then he cleaned up his act, and he might have gone back to it and ended up dying from hitting his head, and the family didn't want to release all the details. But I don't think it was necessarily drug related. It might have been prescription drug related, which in my mind is still a drug.
Yeah.
So I had stealing from the homeless.
I have one more.
Oh, go ahead.
Cheap dates.
Yeah. Can't get
$8?
that. Yeah, dude.
What the hell are you doing for $8?
Well, when he says, the best thing he says is he's like, we walked for, was it 3 hours later? 3 hours and 14 miles later. She's wearing fucking like, not heels, but they're like not comfortable shoes.
Right.
14 miles?
Yep.
Jesus.
No, 100%.
Hot dog. He's like, I haven't had a hot dog in so long.
That hot dog now is probably like $5.75.
Right. She gets a drink.
Robbery.
All right, I had stealing from the homeless. That's always bad, but I don't know. Shay's the worst to me. Like,
you always pick ones that are bad then, and they're still bad.
Well, I like it. Marijuana crimes ending in prison sentences. Because Mary Jane's dad was, and we don't know how long the sentence was, but she says that he's in jail already 4 years, prison, for weed. Goddamn.
And what exactly was he selling?
Marijuana.
4 years just for weed? Damn. With ice cream in his mouth. Let's see. MTV and VH1. Because when they show the Sir Smoke-a-Lot's music video,
I want to talk to Samson.
I will say I love having who the hell is that? All right, so MTV and VH1 have aged the worst for me because they were huge back then. That was the only way to watch. Yeah, TRL. I don't even know what MTV and VH1 are. They still around?
They're around, but they're doing some raunchy dating shows.
Even
now.
for a while, it was just all reality shows. There was no real music besides like TRL. And VH1 just did like behind the music, and then that was good. And then it's just I don't even know what's on that anymore. Age the worst for me. Not even a thing. I would never watch it. Go to YouTube and check out our channel too. The last one, you're gonna laugh at this one. The Twin Towers. Age the worst.
Jesus.
Because they're in the first shot of the movie, and they're in the last shot of the movie, and a couple other shots, and you can't take them out, obviously, but they age the worst because they're not there anymore. I'm not supporting it. I'm just saying.
Got you.
That's the exercise right there. Okay, moving on to casting what ifs. There are none in this movie I could find.
Yeah, I didn't find any either.
Nothing. Maybe there were some, but it was a group of friends that did it, and then so many cameos where like I don't think they were paying them. They weren't really crediting them for the movie, so they didn't need much.
Solid agents or a director who just knows who he wanted.
Yeah. Recasting Couch. Now this one is great. So Recasting Couch is we could recast the role to anyone to not play it worse, but even or better. You want to start it off? What do you got?
I've got Jim Carrey as Brian.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
This one's kind of a weird one, but I think Zach Galifianakis as Scarface. Because giving a guy like Zach Galifianakis a nickname like Scarface to me is just funny in itself.
Right.
Let alone what he could have played with that role. I also have Joe Rogan as Couch Guy.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
And then I've got Ken Jeong, Mr. Chow from The Hangover, as Samson.
All right. Okay.
He's got some Samson in him. And then, you know me, I love my Will Ferrell, so I had to add Will Ferrell and Kenny Powers as the two cops at the end.
Nice. I'll give you that one. All right, mine are better than that, though. Sorry.
I'll be the judge.
Vivica A. Fox for Mary Jane. Although I love the Mary Jane actress, I think she's pretty hot. Not really into black chicks, but she's hot. What do you think about Vivica A. Fox? This is almost Independence Day, right? Vivica A. Fox. It's a couple years later. This next one's great.
Whoopi Goldberg would have been better.
Not hot enough. Samuel L. Jackson for Samson. right?
good.
Right, just playing that off. This one, I don't know if you know this guy, but the couch guy, Dave Attell. You ever seen Insomniac with David? Love that show. I want to get I can't find it anymore. It's on YouTube a little bit. I want to get the box set of that show. For those of you that don't know about this show, it was on Comedy Central late nights. Yeah. He is a stand-up comedian, David Attell. Looks exactly like Couch Guy, by the way, without like the crazy mangy hair. He would just, after his set, he's an alcoholic, like for sure, chain smoking alcoholic. He'd just get drunk at his set, and then whatever town he was in, he'd go out until like 4 a.m. drink, like go to bar hop and just talk to crazy people. And also like he incorporated like dirty jobs in there.
Come with me and you will see a late night freak show. Jubilee, kick the Sandman in his sack. Stay up late, insomniac.
We'd go to like a fucking factory at 4 a.m, fucking whacked out of his mind, just like, and they'd like let him see all this shit and like try to drive a forklift or something. I don't know about the forklift angle, but you know, it was just a great show. Love that show, the music, just David Tell for Couch Guy. I feel like they could have done better.
That's a good one.
The Couch Guy's good, but he looks like him and just
that'd be too many cameos because he was popular then.
Yeah, that kind of was his run. Okay, internet research. My first one I have here is
wait. What about Chris Tucker's Thurgood? Friday, Chris Tucker?
Yeah. No, I don't want to replace Dave Chappelle, but if we had to.
No, yeah.
Right.
This is casting what ifs.
No, this is recasting Couch. Yeah. Right.
Couch what ifs.
Right.
How about that?
Okay, this movie was mostly shot in Toronto. Yep. Not New York City, besides the shots of the Twin Towers.
Dirty Work was being filmed then.
Yeah?
That's how Bob Saget, they shared a hotel.
Oh, wow.
That's how Bob Saget got the cameo.
While writing the movie, Dave Chappelle actually had a guy living on his couch, which gave him the inspiration to have the guy on the couch.
I was actually a couch guy for a semester at college.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I did it because my parents were like, you know what, you're on your own, and you couldn't make enough money for rent, still played sports, all this stuff, and I was the first one up, last one to bed. Couch was not comfy. I need a bacchiotomy.
Right, yeah. Bacchiotomy. Doctor says he had a bacchiotomy.
Doctor said I need a bacchiotomy.
I had the original ending had Thurgood jumping off the bridge. It was dark to like get the J, which probably would have killed him because it was pretty high up. Instead of going with Mary Jane when he throws the J off. And
wait, what was this for?
This is internet research.
Oh, okay.
He jumped off the bridge after the J.
Jesus.
That was the original ending, which just shows that he could not break it. If that was like heroin or crack, he probably would have done that. For weed, that's a bit much, but I get it.
You'll be back!
Yeah, right. The last one I had here is the opening scene when the kids are smoking. They almost scrapped it. They were going to scrap it until they did a test screening, and it was... People liked it. Yeah, but they were worried about having kids, you know, they were saying going into 9th grade, smoking weed.
Yeah.
Which, even though we all kind of did that shit. All right, you got any internet research for me?
No, mine was just the Dirty Work was filmed at the same time, and that's how they linked up with Bob Saget for the cameo.
Worked out well for everyone then.
Yeah, and the sharing the hotel. I'd love to hear some of those stories.
Yeah, Jesus. Hopefully no one fell and hit their head. Shit, sorry. Nitpicks. Okay, let's have some. We have some problems with this movie, and we're going to talk about it.
I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it.
Yep.
Mary Jane. So when she meets them at the prison, how does she not know they're stoners? He's in his fucking custodian outfit. Not a janitor, because he's a custodian, dick. Master of the custodial arts. And then when he's talking to her, maybe he doesn't know, and then when he introduces to his friends, you know, they're just like, hey, we gotta get home, toke up before work.
Yo, Thurgood, come on, man, we gotta go. Get on the train, toke up before we go to work.
And like, Brewer is just the biggest stoner ever. And they're like, do you smoke? No, my grandmother died of lung cancer.
Ah, you smoke?
No, my grandmother died of lung cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, that's all the more reason to toke up, man. Ease the pain. That's what I'm talking about.
All the more reason to toke up, man. You know, like they're just obvious stoners. Like they don't have a car. They're visiting their friend in prison.
Yeah.
Not their dad. Like, you know, it's just total stoners. She seems like a smart girl, successful. How does she not know that this guy is a stoner? Which leads me to my next one, is that Mary Jane can get way better than Thurgood. What does she see in him?
The laughs.
But he's a fucking janitor.
Right away. I'm sexy.
Yeah,
you love me.
Yeah. People like me. I just feel like she could do way better. Like he's a stoner, which she finds out later, but he's a janitor. He lives with 3 other guys, technically 4 if you want to count Couch Guy, and he doesn't have a car. Doesn't seem like he's got a lot going for him. She's got her own place, a pretty nice Jeep. You know what I mean? I don't know. And she's pretty hot. And no offense to Dave Chappelle, he's gotten buff now. I wouldn't call him a good-looking dude. Right? He's kind of squirrely and skinny. And
Squirrely.
I mean, there's a reason that he plays an amazing crackhead in Chappelle's show, right? He just plays that.
Tyrone Biggums.
Yeah, plays him perfectly. They use their landline for their weed business. They put it on the card.
That's
like,
smart.
maybe get a burner. I don't know. Like, they're going to get caught. Like, it's just...
Cops don't seem to care in New York.
No, and what's weird, though, is the later scene when they start blowing up, then they have, like, 5 phones going. So then they got other lines. So why not just get that original? I know they didn't have the money, but come on, man. And, like, somehow when she catches him, she calls the actual number. I don't know, just crazy. And that actually leads me to the next nitpick I have is how does he not realize when he's delivering to Mary Jane that he's going to her apartment? It's his girlfriend. He said he's been there multiple times. He had sex with her twice. So, like, he's looking around like, I know this building. And you see the address. Like, don't knock on the door. Get the fuck out of there.
Yep.
So, but he's a stoner. So that's the point.
That's a good one.
Thank you, man. I also have no masks during the burglary. You know, and he's also still wearing his outfit, his work outfit.
Scarface was a mime, though.
Yeah. He had paint on, so I get that. But the other two are just in everyday attire.
Yeah.
So that's pretty stupid. And then the last one I have is, why would Brian think that he got Jerry Garcia's ashes? Because when Thurgood asks him, he's like, "Oh, is that Jerry Garcia's brother?" No, it's Andy Garcia's brother.
You did? The guy who sold it to me, Barry Garcia.
And what's he supposed to be, Jerry Garcia's brother?
No, actually, it's Andy Garcia's brother.
Why would Andy Garcia have Jerry Garcia's ashes? Because he knows that fact. That should like lead him to be like $400 for this. I got ripped off.
Yep.
Even though it ends up being real, but that's pretty fake.
Yep.
So what do you got?
I've got here smoking weed. May have been there, may have not been there. That's up for debate. But you don't hear Jerry Garcia in your head. I can see the being thirsty, some of that stuff, but they portrayed weed as like this, like
it's like a psychedelic,
wild, crazy thing. Not necessarily true. I know that's not a major nitpick. The scientist asking the janitor to go make a weed run in the science building.
Yeah.
Janitor, scientist.
Yeah, I love that they refer to each other as that.
Yeah.
Right? His reaction with the fucking stick. He's like getting ready to hit him. Not used to people tapping him on the shoulder, I guess.
Right. You would think they do some type of inventory in there prior to the robbery.
Mm-hmm. He's obviously gotten about 10 pounds at that point. 10 different trips. So.
And then also they're just handing weed out in the streets, and there's blatant cops right there.
Yeah.
No one does anything. No one says anything. And then why did Samson want to be in a wheelchair? Maybe that's more of an unanswerable question.
To disarm his. I don't know. But the thing is, he had a delivery service, so not many people were coming to him.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. And was he gay? Because when the titty pops out, he kind of has that little
he could be
twang. That's an unanswerable question. Is he gay? Any other ones?
No.
All right, moving on to Overacting Award. Who overacted in this movie? I think there's only one answer, and it's Brian.
Yep.
And it's not a bad overacting because it kind of makes a movie. Yep. But I was watching I watched it quite a bit to do the research for this pod, all this awesome research. Erica's like, I hate him. I was like, well, he's doing such a good job that you hate him because he's annoying as fuck.
Yep.
Even his like mannerisms are so over the top. Yeah,
but everybody knows this guy though.
Yeah,
in real
just
life.
Crazy Rocky DeRico.
And they had to Jesus. They had to. I haven't experienced
Rocky.
anything with Rocky, but I definitely know some people. I'm not going to name names where you're just like,
shit. I just named names. Yeah.
What's up with this guy?
That's the answer. Overacting, Brian.
100%.
All right.
Facial expressions.
The Swaggy P Heat Check Award. Now, this is for the bench player, the reserve role that comes in hot, throwing heat. Comes off the bench, hits 5 threes, 12 minutes. I had two nominees. I don't know the answer. My first is Jon Stewart.
Okay.
Just the on weed. He's like, oh man, later. He's like, the back of a $20 bill. You ever seen that? There's a guy in the bushes, man. He's got a gun. I don't know. Red team go. Red team go.
Did you ever see the back of a $20 bill? On weed? Oh, there's some weird shit in there, man. There's a dude sitting in the bushes, man. Does he have a gun? I don't know, man. I don't know. What? Red team go. Red team go. It's just some weird shit, man.
And Scarface just like, yeah, man. Okay.
Yeah,
$60,
right,
B.
guy.
And then the other one is Sir Smokes a Lot. just going for it, just the bacchiotomy. He had sex with my mama!
Smoke-A-Lot opened up to me like I was Barbara Walters. It was ridiculous. He told me about his lawyer.
He had sex with my mama! Wow!
Do you have those, or what do you got?
No, I got a different one. I actually have Squirrel Master, a.k.a. Chum.
Yeah, we've been talking about Squirrel Master.
Chill, Nasty Nate. He's my bitch.
Great performance. And
if
actually,
anyone's going to stab, it's going to be me.
At first, I didn't notice it was him.
What?
I don't know. He just looks a little different. Just maybe because he's in such good shape, or they play him off as a badass.
He's got the squirrel in his
Because he's
pocket.
never been a badass, right? Like that 70s show, he's always the same, just burn out. He's almost playing Jim Brewer, Brian's role.
Yeah.
And he's actually playing the martial arts awesome dude. Love him. The shower scene's awesome. Just I don't know who comes at it like that, but okay. The Brock Purdy Award for most irrelevant actor. The actor we didn't know their name, but they're in there and we recognized.
I bet we have the same one. Let's go on the count of 3.
1, 2, 3. Kenny.
Couch guy.
Oh.
Kenny?
Yeah, Kenny wasn't. I didn't know his name. Did you know his name before this? Harlan Williams. I didn't know his name.
Like his real name?
Yeah.
He's been in other stuff.
Oh, for sure, but that's why he's a irrelevant actor. Like he's been in some stuff.
No, I'm going to debate you on this one coming up.
Well, his first film, by the way, Kenny, was Dumb and Dumber. That's amazing. He's the cop. Really small little cameo. That was his first film, which is crazy. They cast a no-name for almost a cameo part. Right. But he's so notable in that movie. Just the face he makes when he drinks the piss.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you? Sucking back on Grandpa's old cough medicine?
Wow. That's an insult.
Well, the couch guy though, but hey, I don't think I know him from anything else. Do you?
No, that's why he's Mr. Irrelevant.
No, Mr. Irrelevant's supposed to be more like a guy you know, but you don't know their name.
I don't know his name, but I know Couch Guy.
Right, but
from being Couch Guy.
Well, we can have a different part of the exercise. I added this category here. You probably don't need to do research for it. Best cameo in the movie. Who's your favorite cameo? I had either Jon Stewart or Bob Saget, but there's so many.
Mine's Baldwin.
Yeah, Baldwin's great.
Give me an avocado.
An ice pick and a snorkel. Yeah. He's like, all right, or maybe that was the second part. There's 2 other ones. He's like, all right.
That was the first one. They did that. That was the second.
Yeah.
He's like, hey man, I've made him out of less.
Just awesome. Yeah, that's great. I mean, Snoop Dogg's is pretty good too.
No, Snoop's.
I mean, every
Snoop would be
Janine Garoppolo's
dude.
great. I have killed. I will kill. I must seek Jesus.
Yeah.
I must seek Christ. You must seek therapy. That's just where I go with that.
Yeah.
All right, unanswerable questions. This is one of my favorite segments here. Why does Nasty Nate have a calendar? You know, when he's Devil Man, and why does Kenny have it up? And maybe to remind him he needs to get out. Yep. But he should give that to his roommates because he can't control himself getting out. And just a calendar, him in a fucking little thong. He's definitely hogged out, dude. You can see it. Big. Not that I checked it out, but he also scribbles on it so you can't help but look.
Yeah.
Devil Man, 666, Mark of the Beast.
No! Devil Man. Devil 666, the Mark of the Beast. No!
I just don't know why he has a calendar. Like, who is he? Is he a famous guy? They don't really go into that. Why do they try to bail Kenny out? Because 100 G's is a lot of money. When, even if you bail someone out, they still have to go to trial if they see him as not like a flight risk or a violent offender, even though he killed a cop, even though it was a horse. But why do they bail him out if he's just probably going to get arrested anyway?
I kind of have a different take on it. Is why don't they just use bail bondsman and then pay the loan back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, because they're stoners and they're idiots and they don't think of that shit. But I just don't think that you bail him out. Like, let him. I know he's going to get his.
Yeah, you're going to bail him out.
His cocktail.
He might die in there. He's a nonviolent.
Yeah. Well, he's a cop killer. He should get respect, right? He said, I'm not really getting the respect a cop killer deserves.
I got one.
What do you got?
If Mary Jane hates weed so much, hates the dad story, why didn't she just legally change her name? That's a rough name for a constant reminder.
That is. But it fits into the plot very well. This is a great one. Why does Brian carry a briefcase to work when he works at a fucking used record sale store? You said it. I was going to do the original scene of when he gets fired, right? Who's coming with me, man? I was like, you have a briefcase, because I thought you would. You worked at a bank, and you're like, no one has briefcases anymore.
No.
But apparently Brian, Brian had a briefcase to work at a, what does he keep in there? Weed?
Probably.
Crackers? Like Kramer does in
Records?
Seinfeld?
Forget my briefcase. Well, what do you got in there? Crackers.
Records and weed?
something. This is a great one that I noticed upon like my 5th or 6th rewatch just for this pod. I do my research, folks. What's the sleeping arrangement in the apartment? Because there's no bedroom there. It's a studio, essentially. And you see one bed kind of by the couch, and there's bunk beds over by the kitchen. So I count 3 beds, but I count, not counting the couch guy, I count 4 friends. So obviously one of them sleeping on the couch next to couch guy. But like, that's a fucked up sleeping arrangement. They're all just sleeping in the same room?
Bros.
Well, they need the money for weed. They can't get a better place.
No.
Because they're buying dime bags. But I just thought that was crazy. Like, just thinking of their day-to-day life. Like, you can never have a girl over there.
I remember when a dime bag cost a dime.
Right. You know how much condoms cost? I don't know. We never used them. Oh, you're cool as hell, mister. Sorry, man. I got to charge you. That's $60.
Yeah.
All right. Last one I have here is I noticed when he first gets Killer, the dog, and they get him high, Brian's making a sandwich. And if you zoom in, man, it's like a fucking...
Man.
Man. It's a marshmallow. It's like a marshmallow and peanut butter sandwich.
People do that.
Because at one point you see him eating a marshmallow. It's definitely one of those jumbo marshmallows.
What's that marshmallow spread? People do that.
No, but this was marshmallows, though. And it kind of brings it back to the beginning when he goes through his list. He's like, all right, we need graham crackers, chocolate, make some s'mores, man. Like, obviously, dude loves marshmallows, you know? And Funyuns.
I had a friend one time say, you can't have fun without Funyuns. I always thought that was a classic.
Do you have any unanswerable questions for me, buddy?
Just the 2 I mentioned.
All right. Scene we would add to the movie. This was difficult at first, and then I just thought of my favorite scene, which was the type of stoners. I want one more montage. You can come up with another 5, right? Types of stoners? That's what I want. Just 3 more minutes.
I would have liked to see a meeting of Mary Jane's dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then her be like, yeah, I'm dating this guy. He sells weed, and see what his reaction is. I'd be very curious.
Yeah. All right. Pee break scene. The scene we want to take a pee to and not watch. This is weird because I love every scene in this movie, and this is probably not a popular opinion, the robbery scene. I know it's like a big part of the movie.
Wow.
I just think it's so dumb, and like, I don't know. I don't want to sacrifice any of the early shit, because the first, like, until they start getting in trouble with Samson, the first 35, 40 minutes of this movie is just, it flies by. It's just boom, 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 quick cut, quick scene, laugh, 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 laugh. That's kind of a longer scene that just, I know they need it for the fact they get arrested and the setup with Samson. I could just do without it. And I do without it, but if I'm going to break in this movie, hopefully you're not a 70-year-old man that has problems with their prostate and needs to pee every fucking 20 minutes, and you can make it through this movie without peeing. I make it through this pod without peeing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a short movie, so...
Actually, no, I have a little piss jar down here, if you didn't notice.
You're gonna be pissing every 15 feet. I know what I'm doing. I'm buying you a piss jar.
Whenever I'm fiddling with something, I'm not jerking off, I'm pissing.
Mine is, and it's probably just because of my age-old hate for watching dogs die in movies, is the killer dying scene. Mm-hmm. Could definitely do without it for that reason alone. What else did I put down here? Moving around me. Basically just the killer dying. Killer getting high and flying around. I do like when they're kind of talking about how did Killer die, and they're kind of making up stories, and Scarface is like, they had nunchucks, bolos, they be doing Indian burns.
He's like, I think it's more complicated than that. More complicated than that?
I got Sandlot vibes with Brian's story.
Yeah, kind of did, right? When he's talking about...
Squints is like...
This it's because it goes to black and white.
Yeah,
that's probably why. But also the dog. Nice call. See, that's why I have this guy in the pod, man. Yeah. All right, 1 Oscar to give. Obviously, no one got an Oscar for this movie. I'm pretty sure. I don't have to look that one up. I had
also, wait. Thurgood also steps on Killer when he's dead.
Yeah. You stepped on his head, B.
I'm like, come on, man.
You know what I should have done was a B count for Scarface, but he also mixed it up with Yo. Like, what other choice do we have, right? Like Yo, right, and B. But he probably says B a solid 30 times.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, come on, B. Even in the first scene, he says that. Like, I love it. Okay, 1 Oscar to give. This is obvious for me, is Jim Brewer. I just think he's one of the best stoners ever.
No.
Who do you got?
I've got Kenny.
Kenny was good in prison. Good. I totally just... See, it's almost one of those things where you kind of glance over Kenny in the movie.
Kenny starts off, and I hate his first scene. If I'm not back in 10 minutes, call the police. And I'm like, dude, I hate this guy.
No, the kindergarten scene's great. He's, I love you, little one. I love all of you.
I mean, that's kind of funny.
No, he's just going for it in jail. He's going for it.
When he's sitting there and they're flying and they see him in the cell and he's like, what does he say? You're not a fish. You're a man. You walk around on both legs.
Homo erectus.
Did I say homo? I didn't mean that.
No, the subtle thing is he does a little fish thing.
Yeah. Or when he's singing in the shower, he's like, all by myself.
Oh, should we do a karaoke with Rob for that?
I mean, if you want to sing it.
Karaoke with Rob.
You are the wind beneath my wings.
Boom, 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 boom.
All by myself. Sing it like you mean it.
That was bad. I'm not a good singer.
Yeah.
Well, actually, one of my favorite things is when they tell him to do the mean face. He said, put your mean face on. Yeah, that's okay. All right, we're going to get you out of here.
But the scenes with him with Squirrel Master, the Nasty Nate calendar, and he's like, naughty jungle of love. Mm-hmm. And he's crossing it all off.
Yeah, good call. I might have missed that one. Okay, best quote.
So many.
I didn't have as many as usual because I wanted to narrow it down. My favorite quote of the movie, I'm going to lead off with this, though, is when he comes back and he's like, oh, you bought a dog? And he's, oh, I bought Jerry Garcia a pouch. He's like, well, you bought something. You told us you gave Mary Jane a pearl necklace, man. How much did that cost? And he's like, well, obviously you missed the point of that story. Pearl necklace is coming in her neck, right?
Oh, Jesus.
Well, that's what it is. Just for those that don't know that. And it's just they're so dumb that they don't realize a pearl necklace.
I never realized that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess I'm one of them dum-dums.
Apparently. So, he's like, obviously you missed the point of that story. He didn't actually buy a pearl necklace. He gave her a pearl necklace.
Yep.
So, what do you got? Got any other ones? I got a couple more after this, but
yeah, I've got when they're in the car picking up Thurgood and from jail, and he's like, "Hey, would you want to go get some ice cream?" And then they wake up and they're like, "This motherfucker said ice cream."
Brian.
Yeah. I also have where, I mean, a lot of the little conversations between Thurgood and Mary Jane cracked my ass up, but I also had everyone knows weed leads to other stuff. Yeah, junk food.
Basically junk food, yeah.
And then I also had the nunchucks. I know we talked about it already.
Oh, those are doing Indian burns. Like the way he says it, he's so serious.
They be doing Indian burns.
A couple more for me. Kenny's quote of when he's like, how long do you think you're making there? He's like, maybe 5, 6:30. Like, you're thinking maybe 5 or 6 days, 5 or 6 weeks. He's saying that day, maybe 3 hours.
Yep.
The fuck? Just amazing. When Scarface buys a dog, he's like, don't worry, man, it's used. He calls a dog used, where essentially any dog besides a puppy is used. That's what you say about a car.
Right.
A used dog?
$250.
Still a lot of money for that kind of dog, right? That was not very well trained. My last one, actually, this is honorable mention as my second, or my favorite. When he gets the weed from the scientist the first time, he's like trying to be like, we could hang out or whatever. And he's like, if you ever need a guinea pig, let me know. He's like, my grandfather was in the Tuskegee experiments. Which, if you don't know what the Tuskegee experiments were, it was, I think, back in the 20s or something. It was only African Americans, and they were testing them for syphilis. So it was just a 500-person trial, only African Americans for syphilis. So he was trying to brag that his grandfather was a guinea pig. That make him a good guinea pig? I don't know. Just the way he quotes it, so casual. He's so proud. My grandfather was in the Tuskegee experiments.
When he's first checking out that weed too, he's like, "You mean I didn't need something?"
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, it brings me to something next. I'll tell you in a bit. What memorabilia would you want? And you asked me this. I didn't tell you.
Jerry Garcia in a bag.
Right. I had that. I also put down Billy Bong Thornton.
I did too, and Wesley Pipes.
And yeah. Well, Wesley Pipes is just a pipe though. So,
Still
but yeah,
cool.
Billy Bong Thornton. But I don't smoke weed anymore. So I don't do drugs, just weed. So I have no use for it. Maybe I could use it as a mantelpiece, even though I don't have a mantle. So that's very confusing. All right, the Tripping Balls Award. Who peaked? Who is peaking in this movie?
Your dog?
Yeah, barking outside. Dave Chappelle? No. But this is the start of the peak. But I figured we'd talk about what do you think his peak was. Probably
Dave
Chappelle
Chappelle
Show?
Show.
Okay.
No brainer.
Yeah, I would say Dave Chappelle Show.
He took over the world.
He did, and then he walked away from the world. But good for you, Dave. Good for
Saw a
you.
little something.
Jim Brewer, yes. Has to be his, right? This is what he's known for.
I picked it for his peak. Wasn't in much. Stand Up was probably blowing up at this time.
Yeah. He's never been better for him.
Yep.
Scarface, yes, for sure. I don't know him from any other things. Diaz is his last name, I think.
So this is Apex Mountains.
Yeah, Apex Mountain. Who peaked?
Tins.
Yeah, nice. So Stone Dogs. I'm gonna say yes. Would you agree? I
don't know if there was ever a peak for that. That's animal cruelty.
Well, in this movie,
PETA?
PETA's pissed. Yeah, PETA's probably pissed at this movie. I forgot. I always mention PETA getting pissed. Apparently, we do a lot of movies that kind of treat dogs like shit. So thank you. Okay, hands-free ejaculation. Hands-free ejaculation. I said yes because the first time when he's signing for it, he's
I signed for this and it's mine. Take it.
Oh, yeah. And then the second time when they go in, when they're breaking in, and they get to the big inventory of weed, he does the same thing, and he looks down to see if there's a spot. I don't know if you noticed that.
I don't.
Yeah, hands for ejac. And the only other one I would say is a Workaholics episode where they're trying not to jerk off, and Durs does it while going over speed bumps. He's so aroused. And I don't remember what song's playing in the car, but it's like kind of like one of them 90s female songs. And he's going over speed. He's like, I'm going to bust.
Oh no. These bumps are going to make me bust. Now, yeah, here. I'll turn on some music to distract you. Okay. Oh, damn. This is how I feel. Cold and I am shamed. Lying naked on the floor. Illusion never changed. I ruined my best khakis.
He's going over and he just, hands-free ejac. So it's that or Workaholics for me that I know of. I don't think there's many hands-free ejaculation moments. So for me, that's.
I'm shocked there's not more of those.
Should be. I can do it. I wish. I'm having a hard time doing it when I have my hand or a vagina. Holy shit, I'm getting old. Okay, the last one I have is Abba Zaba. I don't know what Abba Zaba is. It seems like some kind of Laffy Taffy.
It had to be fake. It was white. That shit looked gross.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Is it even real?
I don't think so.
Either way, it's the Apex Mountain.
They would have to pay for that. That would have been a huge.
Yeah, well.
They had to make that up.
Okay, what do you got?
It looked like Laffy Taffy, though. My Apex Mountain is just Brian. We already touched on it.
That's it? You have no other ones?
No.
You didn't think of the hands-free ejac like I did?
Fortunately, I missed that one.
I like to think about those kind of things. So, okay, last category here. Who won the movie? It's easy for me. I mean, there's a couple options, but for me, it's easy. Based on the career trajectory.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't say Dave Chappelle, what the hell are we talking about?
Dave Chappelle, because, if it wasn't for this leading role, who knows? Because a stand-up, I did read a story that a lot of these comics get booed off originally. They're first, they're nervous, but he was booed off the stage originally in New York City. So, which is crazy to believe because I think he's the best stand-up comedian ever. He's the best storyteller ever. He engages the audience. He's essentially just talking up there, right? And it doesn't seem scripted. Like
Him and Daniel Tosh are my favorites.
Tosh is great. I personally Tosh is similar vibes, right? He kind of just has a punchline, but it's like the build up to the punchline is funnier than the actual punchline.
Yeah.
Because there's no identifiable punchline.
Yeah.
So Dave Chappelle, love him. We love this movie. Give it a rewatch because it's quick, just like the hands-free ejac that Thurgood did. All right, it's a lot of fun.
I know what you're thinking. But old Thurgood sold out, right?
I'm your girl now.
But let me tell you something. I love weed, okay? I love it. But not as much as I love pussy.